We go. I do believe we're live, so I'll say indeed and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. I think that might even be better, lighting-wise. We'll have to trust until I can see for myself. It is a dear pleasure having you friends here again. A dear pleasure indeed. Today's centering thought, our stream topic of choice, is going to be about finding the good. Finding the pleasurable, finding the parts that you appreciate, finding the parts of reality that make you be happy that you're in it. I had this moment today in considering what I'll be talking about today as a stream topic. And as I was in that meditation, I couldn't help but notice that there were things in the meditation that I enjoyed. The feeling of heaviness in my body as it is on the earth. It's almost like very senses based. All of the things touching you. Becoming aware of them. And I appreciated today how just in becoming aware of all of these things, there was this appreciation that arose in me, right? Very much so from this perspective of, this is nice. Having this sensation within my heart of hearts where I'm like, this is nice. I'm happy I'm doing this right now. And as soon as I had that feeling, I realized that that's what I was supposed to talk about today. So that you can find that this is nice within yourself. Things might not be perfect right now, admittedly. There might be something in your experience that is not nice. But finding that which is helps. This is also one of those moments to look into the psyche and consider how that mentality of this is nice has influenced me, technically, in my life, where I used to have a bad relationship with food. And when I would feel not nice in other aspects of my life, I would eat more food to try and balance, to try and find that which is nice in my experience. Short Wall, are you a chill man or a gay man? I think gay men can be chill and chill men can be gay, but I am straight. I don't know if it matters necessarily though. I have a fiance. It is quite the experience. Why do you ask, Short Wall? Why do you ask? Does it make a difference in the way you see me? Does me having a scarf on make you question? Is he wearing a scarf because he's chill, or is he wearing a scarf because he's gay? Let's go! Good. Oh my goodness. Hey Kiefer, nice having you here too. Isn't it interesting? Being a human. I think so. Congrats, my friend. Congrats? What am I being congratulated for? I'm not sure, but I know that you're here right now, and I appreciate you finding the time to be in this space. If you just got here, the thing I want to discuss today is happy Catterday, y'all? Saturday? Catterday? I'm even more confused. Where was I going with this? Yeah, today's stream topic. Today's stream topic is about finding the good, right? I was mentioning today that in consideration about what it is I'll be talking about today, I found myself leaning into the quiet space, into the calm, into the gentle part of myself. And as I was, I found a certain comfort, a certain enjoyableness in that meditation. And as soon as I identified that part of me that enjoys being present in that moment, I realized that that ability to identify and isolate and concentrate, focus on something enjoyable in my experience is something available to me no matter what experience I'm in. Right? Even if I'm in a potentially bad experience, even if I'm in an ice bath. The last time I was in an ice bath, I enjoyed at first very little. And then I enjoyed the fact that I could still breathe. And then I enjoyed the fact that I got used to it. And then I enjoyed the fact that I could just continue staying there. Right? In hindsight, it's very easy to identify all of those things that I enjoyed. But it's always one of those things where enjoyment is something to be extracted in this moment. Right? You enjoying this moment is what we want. We don't want to enjoy the moment we had yesterday today, right? Maybe we can, but I don't think that's valuable. And we don't really want to enjoy, or at least be told that our future is enjoyed, right? Stop complaining right now. You are enjoying the future as we speak. Right. Oh, fiance. Oh, yeah. I have been a little bit coy with it, right? A little bit. It's true. I feel like the fractals have been set, but there is still so much water that has to flow underneath the bridge, and stuff will happen. And I'll include you friends as much as I can. Yep, gay people make me question life, and scarves me wonder what happened to you, and scares me wonder what happened to you. And scarves? Yeah, these scarves of mine are just gifts from friends, right? And they add an extra layer of, right? Like, look, me with a shirt. Pretty normal. Now, me with a shirt and a scarf. Ta-da! You know, suddenly more textures, more foldies, more stuff for me to make art with. I'm also an artist. You see these little pieces? I make them. But I make them by taking a photo of my clothing that I wear for the day. And then I turn that photo of my clothing into my art piece. So having more folds and more crevices and more places for shadows to land adds more textures and complexity to my final artwork in that way. I did not know. Yeah, it's clear that the relationship is there. That part has been said, but it's almost like I'm playing my cards close to my chest because I'm still waiting for it to be like final, if you will. All right, it's final that it is so that the next part that comes is being very close, let's say, but we are in the process of closing the distance. All right, and I feel after the distance is closed, it's going to be easier for me to tell you friends and be very open about it because it's just going to be a matter of it. The scarf makes you seem like you weigh 20 pounds. 20 pounds more? Like I'm 20 pounds heavier? Do I look more like a sleek built human being? Human light? And then boom, I'm human heavy. Interestingly enough, I actually do that on purpose. Having more mass behind me does technically make me more dangerous, at least as a potential foe, if you were considering it. So, that's totally on purpose. Why doesn't it make you question life? I'm pretty secure in my own sexuality, right? I know what I like, so someone else knowing what they like doesn't really bother me much. It's like, oh, you do you, right? That's kind of my way of seeing it. It's what my cat lover friend called Saturday. Make you question life. It can be hot, and this is a functional way to keep you cooler. It's true. By adding some water to these scarves, it basically serves as like local air conditioning. And if it's cold outside, it adds as local heating, making me a more energy efficient human being. What about life? There are so many things that make me question life. This is just one thing. This is just one thing that makes me question life. This scarf makes you seem like you weigh 20 pounds. 20 more pounds? I'm still curious about that. I understand. I'm just happy for you, my friend. Love is true. Thank you, Kiefer. I'm very excited too, bro. It's basically all I think about. It's all I think about, and then because it's all I think about, I think it's prudent to think about other things. Very much so the future, considering, right? Of yes, I'm excited for this future that's coming. But if this is the future that's coming, I need to be mindful of what I will be becoming, what I will be, what I will add. It definitely is a change. And the cool thing about this space is that only some of you friends will know at the time. You seem to be the one who picked it up this time, Kiefer, but it's still an open secret. A little bit of an open secret. Totally don't say anything. uh, there we go. It's a lovely thing to be able to connect with someone you admire so much that you want to build a life together with, right? It really is. And I feel I'm one of those that I'm very, let's say the word skeptical, right? I'm a pretty skeptical person. And my skepticism, hi Melt, what's a change? What's a change? Um, so the thing we're talking about right now is the fact that life continuously changes. And you friends have seen that change unfolding slowly but surely, right? It's true that I have been smitten for a long time. And then it's truer still that Joe did come and see me here in South Africa. And during that time, sorry about that, we exchanged our trinkets. Where is my? There it is. She has the other half. That, and we made each other little almost like promise gifts as well. And all of this in combination with where it is we are in mind and in our journey and in our almost like evolved. I think evolved is the right word. Evolved onto the next level of expectations of what needs to happen. And what needs to happen is now happening, right? And because it hasn't happened, it's almost like I'm talking about the food instead of serving it. I see it every day, Meld. I know, bro. I know. That's the thing. Well, right. That's what I'm saying. You friends have been here for the whole journey. It is quite surreal how life works. Trying to think about how I can attach to today's stream topic. Finding the good parts, right? It's very easy to find all of the bad parts of life, but once you do find the good parts and you look for them, you'll find them too. Is that a river coon? Hey, bro, it's nice seeing you. It feels like your focus has been sharpening lately, or you're more in sync with the universe or something. Yeah? It's an interesting observation. I feel so too, Kiefer. I definitely have taken on a new layer of seriousness. Right? And it is very much almost like conviction. It's a kind of conviction. Because I am very melty, let's call it. Right? And in this melty state, I can take input and morph accordingly, but stay molten. And if that input doesn't become stable or serves any form of infrastructure for me to build upon, it might get molten into the rest, and that molten state will continue forward. Right? That is a visualization of, for example, me and you meet each other in the world, and we have a conversation, and we potentially hit it off, and then we talk about maybe meeting each other again, right? So in that moment, in that molten state, I'll be receptive. I'll be friendly, I'll be kind to you, and I'll entertain the idea of us seeing each other again, going out for an experience. However, as soon as that instance ends, right, that no longer, let me say it in this way, I remain in that molten state. Right? I'm not now starting to build that as infrastructure. The only time it becomes infrastructure in my world is if we actually did find an opportunity to meet each other again. Right? Then that was the first block of, okay, there was now this follow through with the thing we said we're going to do. Right? And as soon as I can start seeing these instances of almost like checkpoints, right? It's like what is accounted for, and it's hard to ignore. It's hard to ignore that something changed. The biggest thing that really changed for me, I'm almost getting emotional just talking about it. I'm calming down. It's better. Is I had this surreal conviction and deepness of experience of realizing what life is supposed to be. Experientially, day to day, right? How much love there's supposed to be in my world. How I'm supposed to be treated, if you will. And yeah, that definitely did reorient my focus a little bit. Made me a lot more cognizant of where it is I'm giving my energy. It's like knowing, right? Mishra, you know what I mean? Once you know, you cannot unknow. You have to just continue knowing forward. Who needs tears is here to levels to you, sending you so much love. It's nice having you. Your topics have a level of clarity. Ah, I like that too. I'm very happy that you feel that way, Kiefer. I appreciate that I've been able to make myself clear in what it is I'm trying to say as well. Because for me, ultimately, the fact that I am trying to show up here and consciously evolve alongside you, friends, one of the things that I try to do is stay relatively vague so that you get to fill in the blanks. And with that level of, I don't know if vaguelity is a word, but with that vague energy, it can also reduce the level of clarity about what it is I'm actually trying to say. And I have been trying to say things in an abstract way and then add a layer of clarity afterwards, right, as a point of focus, so that you might form your own conclusion and then see what my perspective is and then potentially weigh your own conclusion. Right, and that does create clarity in our experience. Thank you for paying attention and being so wise and clear yourself, Kiefer. I appreciate it. Hey, who needs tears? Hey again, Mishra. Yeah. This experience of being a human is definitely a unique one. Every single one of us have our own fingerprint, our own face, our own limbs, our own hopes and dreams, our own idea of what the world is supposed to be. And as it is right now, we're set up to be competing. Fortunately, we also figured out that we can compete as teams, right? We can work together, but we're still competing against other teams. Eventually, those teams will team up as well, surely. But while we're getting there, I'm happy to have a team like you friends with me. It really does make this life a little bit easier to handle. You friends help me find the good, right? Since that is our centering thought today. Finding the good. And then bringing ourselves back to this reminder that you can find the good in anything. There's a cricket outside right now. And usually, and it is probably one of those things where it's not that far away. One up, Star. Good morning to you. It's cool seeing you here on the Twitch side. And then the cricket went away. But there's a cricket outside, or there just was at least. It's probably still there out there somewhere. But usually I don't particularly enjoy crickets cricketing next to me. However, with today's energy and mind in trying to find the parts of life that I enjoy, listening to that cricket reminded me of this honor of hearing it all. Right? I enjoy the fact that I can hear. Even if the sounds I might be hearing isn't the best, I do enjoy the fact that I have this sensitivity to the world. And there is some enjoyment to be extracted from that awareness. I couldn't sleep properly last night, or at least not at the time that I usually do, so I listened to music. But instead of putting in earphones, and instead of putting my speaker loud, I had my speaker right here, basically against my head, and I put a pillow over my face and over the speaker. It didn't muffle the sounds, but it was very close to my head. And it wasn't ear hurtingly loud, but it was loud enough to vibrate. And there was this experience of enjoyment, right? I got to turn the not being able to sleepedness of laying there into an experience that I enjoyed. I'm sharing this because of the whole choices we have, different experiences we can extract. Like just becoming aware of the things you have in your line of sight. You can extract things too. I'm noticing patterns. I look around and I'm like, and a pattern there, a pattern there too, and a patterns. And patterns to me looks like, almost things that we can name, collectives, smudges, knots on wood, creatures, things that have different functions, right? And we can appreciate the functions that those things have, and we can appreciate the beauty that there are in the knots of wood and the simplicity in a light switch, appreciating that it does what it's supposed to do. You flick it and a light goes on. There is abundant goodness, right? So much, all over the place. So wherever I look, there's just good stuff. Just like all the other abundant energy in this world, but we have to choose to connect with it. It's true. It is true. We do find ourselves here for that, ultimately. Finding things to love. I, because of today's inspiration being a meditation, did actually think that we're going to start today's stream by doing a meditation, and I was going to call you to try and find something you enjoy while we meditate, right? In the experience, find something you enjoy and then really focus in on that. So, you still want to do that? I'm going to do 10 minutes with you. It's a bit of a time. But we'll start by focusing on our breath. Letting it ebb and flow a little bit. Inhaling deep. Holding. Exhaling. Holding. We'll hold this one as long as we can. Then inhaling. Find enjoyment in that. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice being able to breathe. Finding a steady rhythm in our breath. We'll begin tuning into our body. Finding ourselves wherever we are. Notice how the earth is interacting with you. Which parts of your body is making contact with the planet? What shape is the planet taking underneath you right now? It could be a chair, it could be the floor, it could be a couch. You could be standing up, driving in a car right now. Maybe don't be closing your eyes in this meditation, but you can focus on your breath. Holding these two awarenesses, body and breath. See if there is something you enjoy more than the other. When I come into these points of awareness, one of the first things that tends to happen is that my skin gives me points of focus, let's call them. Places where it seems like I'm being called to scratch myself because I'm itching. And this is something that for the longest time, every single time I meditate, this particular irritation would come up. This call to awareness that seemed like it was outside of the stillness that I was trying to reach. And as I've talked, my knee and a spot on my chin and even like a little spot on my left eyebrow as well has been itching a little bit. calling me to do something about it. But I have found this sadistic enjoyment in seeing it as stimuli that reminds me that I am here. I'm so convinced I am here, there is a place for me to reach and touch and scratch. It's interesting how, if you give yourself enough time, your body will give you new stimuli. Finding things we enjoy. Noticing how our body shifts and adjusts. Coming back to awareness of physical touch. What's the sensation in your hands right now? Monitoring from the tips of your fingers, your pads, the little tips you touch the world with, down the fingers into your palms. Is there heat? Is there cold? Numbness or tingling? Exploring that energy up your arms. Not only feeling the outside, the skin, but trying to feel inside your arms as well. Notice any discomforts or pains, and again, find something you can appreciate in the pain or discomfort as well. For me, the best is I enjoy being reminded that I am here. In the same way my sight can let me see things, my sensations lets me feel things. Lets me see things basically from an internal body perspective. Following that energy up to our shoulders, up our neck into our head. Notice any pressure here, any points within us calling for our attention. And then imagine all of this energy in your head slowly running down your neck, over your torso, slowly covering the rest of your body. I'll meditate with you in silence. Nice. That chilled me out real good. And close to the end of it, weirdly enough, literally within the last 20 or so seconds, I found that real enjoyment in being in the meditative state. I was like, this is nice. And like it felt like a few seconds after thinking this is nice, the alarm went off. Uh, Sending you so much love. Jo is here with us as well. She's driving. Sending you blessings. It was nice having your friends here. I'll show you a flower. Read you a poem. And bid you a fair do. Look at this one. I really enjoyed the way this one turned out. That is true. All right. The poem went as such. Makers of our own legend. Behold, I did this to myself. I built a stage with my own two hands, turning dreams and scars into a life of purpose. I danced as both jester and sovereign, each stumble a note in my anthem, each misstep a stroke of my bold design. And you, yes you, knowing the lines, stand with me on this vibrant stage. Every heart here is an artist, each breath a shared beat in our grand parade. Let's celebrate the truth of your being. We crafted our own wonder as material, found our spark and lit up the dark. So smile, dear soul. Wear your joy like a crown. We are the makers of our own legend. The energy cores of love. A little bit more of a simple one. But yeah, we are the energy cores of love, dear friends. Always remember to find the good inside of yourself, because that is an energy core of your own that you deserve. I appreciate you, friends, for joining me today. This will be the last stream, I think, for today. Maybe during the week I'll do more or something. Maybe I can have a little bit of a break as well. I'm sending you friends lovings. Thank you for joining me for this moment. It's always a pleasure. See you again tomorrow. Glad you had a good meditation. Sweet dreams. Thank you. One up star. Sending you friends lovings. I'll see you again soon. Tomorrow.